Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday, the 24th day of August 2022. I hope that this Wednesday finds you healthy and safe, and that the same can be said for your family in terms of health and safety, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field and the first responders who every day are trying to risk their lives to save other lives, and those that pick up garbage for us to keep streets and highways, parks clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are trying to help rescue and deliver the teenagers and children who are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. The victims also of pornography and child pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, and sex slavery. And double curses on all of those who are the perpetrators, the profiteers, and those perverts involved in this human misery. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and children in the United States. We're in a recession now. The numbers grown on the streets, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions, and blessings upon them. For theirs is the kingdom. Brother, Ian Begley sent out a very short video yesterday for SNY. Video, minute and a half, minute 31 seconds. And man, it caused all kind of storm. And you know why? I'm going to play the video in a second. But you know why? Because everybody is tired of this Donovan Mitchell, New York to New York Knicks drama. And they just want it, including myself, just want it done. Right? We're tired of hearing about it. And the way we all looking at it, it's like this. Either Ainge plays ball or he doesn't. If he doesn't, we need to walk. As bad as Donovan Mitchell. And Donovan Mitchell he's always in New York in the summer, but this summer he's making way more public appearances than he normally does. Why do you think he's doing that? He's trying to signal he really wants to be a Knick. The hindrance is not the Knicks. It's Danny Ainge. If I'm the Knicks, I'm walking away from this deal. We were talking about this last night, the live stream, and I told you the way this is looking, I don't like it. I have no problem with the Knicks walking away from this deal completely. We're going to move on from here. And then go deal with the Lakers directly, who are trying to add pieces around LeBron and AD, and they're interested in Julius Randle. I would deal with them directly. Forget this. This ain't working. Let's listen to what Ian actually said, and then how people took this to me. RJ Barrett or bust. First of all, before I play it, let me tell you this. If that's really what it comes down to, either they get RJ Barrett or forget it. Forget it. I don't care what Stephen A. Stupid is talking about and others like him. Get Donovan and Mitchell at all costs and give up RJ Barrett. No. Listen carefully, y'all. This is year 3 of a rebuild. This is year 3 of building a long-term sustainable winner. We could go get pieces and trade away the future and try to get a candy high of making a deep run in the playoffs, and then that's it, like they did with Melo and them. We could do that. Or we could try to build this thing long-term the right way, which means not just one candy high in New York. Oh, Knicks made it to the semifinals. Oh, the Knicks made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then we done. Or every single year, when you talk about teams that are a threat for the chip, the Knicks are mentioned. Isn't that what you want? This doesn't come overnight. It takes time to build this. Okay? You don't jump on the first move that's available. The Knicks are now knocking on that door to be able to get a superstar, which is why we're talking about Donovan Mitchell. Is he the only superstar? Is he the last one to ever appear? No. And we're in year 3 where you got a Obi Toppin and Emmanuel Quickly, an RJ Barrett, you got Quentin Grimes, a Deuce McBride, a Mitchell Robinson. All of these are players 24 or younger that are on the cusp of being good players in the NBA, on the cusp of making noise in the NBA. We need to let them do that. Whatever happens after this, whoever needs to be cut loose, you cut them loose. But you got to find out what you got right now. I would not make this deal. Let's listen to what Ian said.
A couple of notes here on the Knicks and Donovan Mitchell. The Knicks are not the only team in touch with the Jazz on a Mitchell trade. The Cleveland Cavaliers are among the teams that have touched base.
Notice he said touch base. That doesn't mean negotiating for a deal. All 29 teams in the NBA, I am sure, have touched base on Donovan Mitchell. You wouldn't be a competent GM if you didn't. So they're going to touch base. But what Cleveland got? Cleveland really has 3 unprotected picks they could give. They do. They got 3. They don't have 4 because they don't have their 2023 is protected. So therefore they got 24, 26, and 28. That's what they got. Okay. Who are they going to give up? Let me tell you who they not giving up. Darius Garland ain't going nowhere. Neither is Evan Mobley. They ain't going nowhere. That's locked in. Okay. Jared Allen, who they just signed to $100 million. Ainge don't want that. He ain't going nowhere. Okay. Then you got the possibles are Okai Agbaji, who's the rookie, and Isaac Okoro, and just finished his second year. Those are the 2. So you telling me Ainge is going to take 3 unprotected picks, Okai Agbaji and Isaac Okoro. Okay, do that. Do that. That's what I would say. Go do that. Because I'm not going to give up RJ Barrett. And why am I not giving up? What people are, this is what I want to educate y'all on. In terms of long-term sustainable winning, it's about a culture change. It's not just the talent. It's culture change. Never mind what RJ Barrett can become. Never mind that he really, in my view, can become a better version of Jimmy Butler and that he's been progressing every year in his first 3 years in New York, the toughest place to play in the world, in Madison Square Garden. He has been getting better every year, handling the pressure better than Julius Randle at age 21. Never mind that. We picked him 3rd overall. He is a symbolism of the development. He is the symbol of the rebuild. He is the heart of what we're trying to do. Just based on principle and development, you gotta keep him. He has a great attitude. He wants to be in New York. He was happy the night he was signed. At that day, as he said, I'm a Knick, when the Knicks was winning 17 games. You don't trade that. And I'm not suggesting that Leon is. Neither is Ian Begley. Just because they made a call don't mean they're doing anything. Let's continue.
With the Jazz recently on a Mitchell trade in Cleveland, it's interesting because they have young players, they have picks that Utah would seek in a Mitchell deal. Washington and Atlanta, as the Athletic reported, are among the other teams to touch.
We already talked about Washington. If they gave up all their youngins and 2, because all they got is 2 unprotected. If they gave up all their youngins and 2 unprotected, that's an offer. Ainge said he want 4. Okay? That's an offer. He could take that. Hey, listen, if Washington won't give up all their youngins and 2 unprotected picks, let him do it. I don't know what Atlanta got. I don't know what they gonna give. But whatever. Okay? So if Atlanta, Cleveland, and Washington want to jump in this thing and go ahead and make an offer, do it. We're not giving up RJ Barrett. I'm telling you, the Don ain't doing it. You see, listen further.
Space with Utah on a Mitchell trade, but to me, the Knicks are in the driver's seat in this deal. It's really the Knicks' deal to lose.
Did you hear what he said? That's the one everybody should be looking at. The Knicks in the driver's seat, not the Jazz. Not the Jazz. Not Cleveland. Not Washington. Not Atlanta. Not nobody. The Knicks in the driver's seat.
You talk about Donovan Mitchell because they can offer the best package in a Mitchell trade. I think it's just a matter of, are they willing to come up to Utah's asking price? Can they get Utah to come down a bit?
See, it's on Ainge. This ain't on the Knicks. Ainge got to come to correct. He got to come correct. He got to come correct. Okay? And so he's used to fleecing everybody. But we did a video. This ain't fleece season. The Don ain't into that. He ain't getting freaky like that with you. Okay? No. You know what? We're going to see what happens Labor Day weekend, y'all. But I would not be surprised if the Don say, okay, no thanks. No thanks.
it from its current asking price to meet somewhere in the middle to get a deal done. And I think that's where we are with this thing. But the big name here for me to watch is R.J. Barrett because Utah certainly seeks R.J. Barrett in a deal. There are a number of different permutations that I think are being discussed, have been discussed, but certainly Utah would like to get R.J. Barrett back in the deal. Are the Knicks...
What? Are we surprised Utah's interested in R.J. Barrett? Are we surprised that the Ripper would be looking for R.J. Barrett? Is that news?
Willing to give up R.J. Barrett. I reported back in, I think it was mid-July, that people in touch with the Knicks recently had come away with the impression, again, back in mid-July, that the Knicks were dead set against, including Barrett.
Did you hear it? Dead set against. Now, who makes the decisions at MSG regarding the Knicks now? It's Leon Rose. Dead set against. Leon Rose, who put out 2 statements within the last 12 months about the Knicks' young core. About the Knicks' young core. About development and looking for the right opportunities. That's the focus. RJ represents that. Dead set against. Leon makes the decisions here, not Tom Thibodeau, not Worldwide West, because if it was up to Worldwide West, some of y'all be very happy because he'd have fired Tom Thibodeau last January. But no, it's Leon that makes the decision, and I'm glad. Okay, here we go.
In any trade, is that still the case? I'm not so sure. I don't think that it's a uniform opinion throughout the building.
It's not a uniform opinion throughout the building. The building being Madison Square Garden. So he's saying it's not a uniform opinion in Madison Square Garden. Again, what does that matter if Leon is making the decision here? And let me ask you, let's say for the sake of argument, you're dealing with Leon, you're dealing with Perrin, you're dealing with Perry, you're dealing with Brock Aller, you're dealing with Tom Thibodeau. Let's assume you're dealing with Allen Houston. Let's say you're dealing with these 6 or 7 people, and you still don't forget, you still got Steve Mills in there. He's the background, but he's still there. And then of course there's the king, James Dolan, right? So let's say you got these crew in there. James Dolan hired Leon Rose to make these decisions. He did not hire the rest of those people to make these decisions. Leon Rose hired the rest of these guys. They all answer to him. That's why Tom Thibodeau is still here. So if it's not uniform, it's irrelevant. Because Leon is the decision maker. And he's already told them in July, no. So this could be very much propaganda. This is a high stakes chess game that we in, y'all. And they 2 chess masters, Ainge and Rose. This is chess match. This is high level chess right here. Okay. And so they playing this game. All of this could be smoke screen, but I'm telling you what, in any deal I've learned in business, I was self-employed for more than 15 years. The biggest deals I made were deals I was willing to walk away from. One of my biggest deals, I actually told the prospective client, I'm going to cut you loose. I think you could do better with another person. I think you don't want to do business with me. You're just too nice to tell me. So that's it. We're not going to do it. And I was ready to walk away. And he said, no. And we ended up closing one of my biggest deals. Because you have to be willing, seriously willing to walk away. And I'm believing Leon is. And I'm believing if Ainge keep messing around here, Leon might. And I would not mind that at all. Because I believe, I don't care what Stephen A. Stupid says. I don't care what Max Killer says or whatever. I believe in the young people we got. I believe they're ready to take a step forward. I believe we need to give them that room to do that. Donovan Mitchell will be nice. I'm not going to say he wouldn't be. Donovan Mitchell would be nice to have, but not to sacrifice the future for. If what Berman said is true, and who knows, I mean, he said that the Knicks believe they can win 10 more games with Donovan Mitchell. That means 47 wins. I believe without Donovan Mitchell, they're a 45-win team. So you're talking about a difference of plus or minus 2. Okay? I'm willing to roll with what we got and try to get them 45 wins and see if we can improve on that. Rather than give away 3 or 4 unprotected picks. And then having this clown ask for players like RJ Barrett. Or even Obi Toppin, who I don't want to see traded either. Okay? That's the future. And we're building for the future, for long-term sustainable winning. So, with this news, everybody went crazy.
With New York, that they can't include Barrett in a deal, so something to keep an eye on there.
See, he said keep an eye on it because not everybody's uniform. All that means is that there's people that disagree. There's people that's listening to commentators and saying, no, we can't let RJ stop us from getting this superstar in Donovan Mitchell. And listen, I would not mind having Donovan Mitchell. But the whole purpose of getting a dude like that, who cannot carry you to the finals, he's just another chip on the process, is to pair him with an RJ Barrett. That's what you want to do. You want to pair him with an RJ Barrett. But you know what I'd rather? I'd rather not do this deal. Start Cam Reddish at the 3 and RJ at the 2, if you really want to be real about it. Start RJ Barrett at the 2 guard position, because nobody in the league will be able to deal with his strength. With Jalen Brunson and Cam Reddish. Do that. I'm more excited about that than the Donovan Mitchell trade. Honestly. Okay, honestly. I'm more excited even if you started Quentin Grimes, who I think Tibbs would favor to start. RJ, Quentin, JB, and I want Obi on that other side of the 4. Running the floor like a gazelle. I'd rather that. I'm more excited about that than about this. This is giving me a bad taste in my mouth, yo. I'm just being honest. This is giving me a bad taste. I like Donovan Mitchell, but not that much. Yeah. I'm not saying the dude ain't good, but can't nobody tell me he's Giannis or KD or Stephen or Luka. I mean, he's good. He's real good, but he ain't them. So why are we talking this foolishness? No. I'm really trusting Leon here. And if Ainge keep messing around, I think Leon might walk. But I think we're going to know by Labor Day weekend. The end of Labor Day weekend, you come back that Tuesday, I think you might hear some things. We're going to see what happens. In the meantime, hang tight, New York. This is some garbage going on here, but we got to hang tight with this. Trust Leon and his crew. Leon know what he's doing. He's not going to give away the store. I'm confident in that. So let's roll with this. We got two. Let's see. This is the 24th. We got next week, and then after next week is the 3-day weekend. We're gonna see what happens. Some fireworks might happen that weekend, but we will see. Or it might be completely quiet because Leon done said no, thank you. Shalom.